What's up, everybody? It's me again, and it's time to lean in, bitch. We are here for the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion part one. And as you see, we have a full screen, ready to lean, child. We have everybody that has talked about this show this season on the screen. So, you know it's about to be a good night. I don't know. I don't think any of you have ever done a reunion for the lean. And so these are actually my favorites
Yeah.
because they're so much fun. Like, we have a lot to do and talk about today. We have people here in the chat. So it's gonna be fun. We got games, that y'all don't know much about, but I know what we're gonna do. So it's gonna be a good time. But first off, let's
Okay.
go around
Okay.
and introduce the
Excited.
co-hosts that we have. Asia, welcome to the Lean reunion special.
Hey,
Jasmine, welcome.
lean in.
Hello. How you doing?
Lamecia, Miss Center Peach.
Okay.
Tonight is Delilah.
Okay,
Okay, well,
sweetheart.
Delilah, I'm gonna try to remember that. However, I will say you
Mm-hmm.
look better than half the girls at that. You look like better than half the girls at the dungeon party. So I see you got your whole dungeon little spiel going on, child. Give us a little thing, and then we
Yes.
have Robert, who is back. Recently did an episode or
Hey
a
y'all.
review with him about the its situation with Wendy. So welcome back. I know you got some inside tea for us today. Now,
Let us
We'll
know,
see.
child.
We ready?
well,
Yes.
Well, like I said, we here for the reunion part one, and it was okay. I'm gonna say it was okay. Of course, we're gonna talk about it more in depth. But before we get started, I want to make sure that everybody that is watching, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, all things lean. As I put out there today, the lean is just shy of 1,000 subscribers. So obviously, over the last year, we have grown and grown and grown to be where we are today. I thank the fans, supporters. I also thank the co-hosts because without the co-hosts, it would not be happening. So thank you all again for doing this with me every week on the show. But let's talk about the show. As I said, part one of the reunion. I just want to go around and figure out like who did everybody think felt won this part one. So who is the person that brought it home in your opinion? And then we'll go into the actual layout, starting with Lamecia, Miss Center Peach. Who brought it home to you? For you.
Right now, and it's so weird. I'm gonna have to go with Latoya at the very end. I think she just came in swinging like,
Okay.
okay, SpongeBob. Like
Okay.
it was just kind of mellow at first, and Latoya kind of lit it up for me
Okay.
at the end. Yeah.
Asia.
It was Latoya for me as well. They had to. It's funny because I just watched like Candy and Don Juan, and they said that they had to edit out a lot of how Latoya
Mm-hmm.
really came in, and I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
like,
So
"Yes,
bad.
hey SpongeBob,
Mhm.
I live."
Okay. Jasmine.
I don't find trivial things like that humorous. So I'm gonna just say, no, I really just thought Portia held her own against Kenya. I think that she gave. I think in the past she's kind of resorted to like name calling, ho, trash bag, coochie box, whatever the hell she was saying. But now she has grown. Her I'm not gonna say clapbacks, but her responses are more mature and they're more thought out. So I think that she won this round.
Okay. Robert.
I don't think nobody won, y'all. Oh my god. If I gotta be honest, I don't think nobody won. It's just we'll get into it. I don't think nobody won.
Okay.
It was a funeral, child. Let the head child.
Now I would definitely say if I had to choose somebody, I did like the way that Latoya came in, but I don't think she won. I mean, she just came in loud and
Yeah.
everything, but I mean, she did what she had to do. We
Mm-hmm.
gonna see if her being loud, if she continued
Losing.
that energy, because to come in one way is like finish, but can you start it? So we gonna see. But I would honestly
Oh
give it
yeah.
to, I would give it to Porsha and Kenya, just because they are sitting in the toughest spots to be. You got Porsche sitting in Queen NeNe spot, honey. I'm just saying. So these two are about to go back and
Yep.
forth. Even though I'm kind of tired of this feud, but I think for them to have such a history, this is the first time I felt like they were actually mature. Like they were having a back and forth,
Hmm.
and nobody interrupted each other. So I'm gonna give it to them too. On that note. So yeah, and that's just what I feel. And and then what I was gonna say was they started out with a segment about the ladies and their weight? Did y'all find any value in that? Like they were talking about the whole COVID poking thing. I read like online, people were having issues that they were saying that they feel like Andy, he's always coming at the women about their weight and stuff like that. He'd rather see some like body positivity situations. But did anybody get anything from that particular segment? Felt any way, negative, positive? Just what were your thoughts? Starting with you, Robert.
I mean, even I gained weight from damn COVID, so I ain't feel no way about it. It was just given. It is what it is, child. It's just a regular conversation. We all know we don't put on a few pounds. Hello.
Right. Jasmine?
I didn't. I mean, it was okay. It was just something to throw in there. I thought it was like a filler. Everybody has gained weight. Most people have gained weight during quarantine. So, I mean, I guess it was a conversation to have, especially since that 195 thing that, about Cynthia. But everybody else was big too. So, yeah. So,
Lamescia?
I mean, I didn't think it was needed, but it was relatable. So I think everybody could relate to it.
That's true. And then Asia?
Marlo didn't gain no weight because she got her lipo.
She did. You're right.
I'm going to get sucked out of there. She had something to get sucked.
I'm not knocking it because, I mean, if I'm gaining weight and I got the money to get lipo, to get that shucked right on out, I'm going to get it sucked right on out. And I'm going to just lie. So, yeah, it was relatable.
Okay.
I'm going to just lie like y'all favorite person, Drew.
Oh, come on now. How we get there so fast? I mean, I thought we were talking about so wet.
That part.
Oh,
Let
my
us
God.
get there.
Man, no, she a liar.
Didn't she lie on you?
I don't know.
She
I got flooded out.
Okay.
I wasn't here.
Okay.
I didn't do anything. I don't.
So I know firsthand that she's a goddamn liar.
Woo! Is she just mistaken? Or
We're gonna get to Drew.
No.
Drew has a whole segment. It's gonna be a long night for Drew.
She's like God.
No.
How she mistaken lie?
I don't know. Sometimes we can be mistaken.
We're gonna help her today. We're gonna
figure it out.
We're gonna figure it out today.
It's just questions.
All right. So as I mentioned before the live, the cross talk. Hello. So we're gonna start off by talking with.
Quiet.
Right. We got a long night to talk about Drew. Let's talk about that. So let's talk about Porsha Luther King. They started off this segment with Porsha. They showed off her efforts, and I'm glad that they are showing that because that was a big thing in this season. Obviously, like her and her activism at the beginning of the season. And so the biggest issue that they have been talking about lately was her wanting to have some scenes removed, but actually shown on the show was, Kenya kind of doubting her efforts and saying that they weren't genuine. And we come to find out that, she wasn't invited to the PSA. Or was she referring to that actual event at the beginning? It made it sound like there was a PSA that happened outside of that event. We saw the event.
That's what she was talking about.
I thought it was
a little too, but I think it was that event in the beginning that Lauren did.
Yeah.
So technically she was kind of invited a little, but she also got her little invite revoked.
Right.
She was talking about the that PSA or whatever. I don't even know what it was. She was talking about the thing that they did because it was Marlo, Cynthia, and Drew and her, and maybe Shamia. But she Andy.
So how do we? The first question I want to ask is like, how do we feel about Kenya questioning Porsha's efforts, and do you, I guess, feel what she's saying, and by saying that, well, Porsha didn't invite me to the PSA, so basically that trumps everything that you've done. Like all of this justice you talk about. Like, how do we feel about this topic? Go ahead with you, Asia, because I see your face.
I'm sorry, y'all. I feel like she has every right to question her activism. I mean, she's doing it for clout.
Oh my God.
She just is. Or she's doing it to rebrand, like I said. She's doing it to rebrand. So it's not selfless. So if you're doing it and it's not in a selfless way, I'm going to question it. I'm not going to, I question some of the things she did. So when I saw her at the end talking about getting the 2 seats in Georgia flipped, I understood that. I got it. But it was just you on this high horse preaching at us and telling us how you care so much about, girl, bye.
So you don't believe it?
It's not that I
Robert.
don't believe it. I think it's
Look at
okay
her.
to
I don't
question
know.
it.
I'm baffled. I'm so speechless.
Go ahead,
It's okay
Robert.
to question it.
Go ahead.
Why?
Go ahead.
Because I did.
I'm gonna go ahead and say I get that she's saying that she's doing it to rebrand her image and all of those things, but I honestly believe that she has a heart for it. I mean, in the aspect of like, it's already going on in her family. Her grandfather started before. I think she really was close with her grandfather and she wanted to keep on her little family tradition that's going on. And I honestly don't think that nobody just gonna go out there and just keep going to jail
Right.
just to rebrand their damn image.
Oh my God.
I know the hell I ain't going to sit in no jail cell to rebrand my. I don't give a damn what you think about me, bitch.
Shit.
Let me see it.
So I believe that it's true. It's genuine.
Okay.
Okay, I feel it's a
So
little
hold on.
bit of
Let me ask
both.
you a
I
question.
think.
So let me switch your question. So I want to ask you more so specifically about how do you feel that what she's doing is Trump because she did not include Kenya into the PSA?
Yeah. So that's what I'm gonna get into. Like, I feel
Okay.
like it's a little bit of both. I feel like it's somewhat genuine because of her grandfather. So some people do want to walk in the footsteps of something that their family member has done. But then some things come off as everything is kind of like about her, like getting her face out there, like she said about the rebranding. So it's kind of hard for me too to kind of form an opinion because of that scene that was taken out. And I just find that so strange that she wanted that scene taken out. I really feel she was the one that was acting a fool. Because if it was Candy or Kenya acting a fool, she would have left that in there. So it's like, what was it really about? Like, you wanted that to be your storyline and nobody else, and then you were mad at Candy for not being included in her thing. The issue with well, not the issue, but what Candy brought to like Bravo, like her I guess proposal, and she was
wanted
mad about
like
that.
more
So it's
black
like
interns, right? That what they talking
exactly. So yeah, so Porsha was mad about that with Candy for not being included. So I can kind of understand Kenya like also saying like, okay, if it's really about the cause, then why are you letting something that's personal between me and you get in front of that? So it's kind of like I'm kind of like,
You in between.
yeah.
Okay. Jasmine, with your hat.
I know, honey. I'm giving real just Southern Belle, honey. Call me Delta Burke. Anyway, I of course believe that it's not clout. I believe the first meeting that Porsha and Kenya had from day one was at a charity event when she mispronounced her title, and she invited her there. So from the beginning, she has always been into philanthropy. Now, people have questioned in society because, let's say the Underground Railroad comment. Okay, whatever. Like she said on there, that was 7 years ago. I've educated myself since then, and I have gone further and forward and done that as well. Now, when it comes to Kenya doubting her, I think is dead wrong because, like she said, what have you done from the curb? What has Kenya done besides PSAs and stuff that she could promote and things that she could do on the internet? So that's just my thought about it. Because at the end of the day, like Robert just said, who's gonna sit up there and go to jail over again with a child? Now I don't have kids, like we've stated before, but I'm still not gonna go. I'm not gonna do that over and over again. I'm going to donate my time. I'm donating money. I'm donating a lot of my time to the betterment of kids or college kids. But I've still been a bitch to other people. And I've still been a bitch and gone back and forth with another bitch, even though I'm still for women empowerment. I'm not perfect. But we can't hold each other up at higher standards. If we're going to be down, we're going to be doing like this. We can say that we preaching, she preaching. But at the same time, why aren't you elevating? That's my
So if you are the former Miss USA, wouldn't you have like some type of philanthropy and community service? Like I remember her doing a lot of stuff in her.
You can.
Yeah, so I would assume that she is. I remember her inviting Phaedra to some charity she was doing in Detroit, like a few seasons ago. So like,
I might be thinking about something more present in the times of George
And didn't
Floyd,
she
in
do
the
a little
times of Trayvon
charity
Martin.
in,
I'm talking about right now.
But charity is not being a civil rights activist. Let's not confuse.
Exactly, it could be simple things. Yeah,
They're completely different things.
But we're talking about Kenya telling her that, like doubting it. There's no reason
because
to.
she has that right. Yes, there's tons of reasons.
But that scene that was cut out, how would we know?
And does another. But I mean, I'm gonna question it.
They're still on reality TV shit.
So let me say this. Let me say this, and I'll let you go ahead, Robert. So what I want to say after this is that
Oh, okay.
I think that one, in terms of inviting her to the event, their relationship has been rocky, and I think at the beginning of the season, when this happened, I said this in my review, in my recap. I was just like, I understand, like, you want to be invited, and but you also don't believe in what I'm doing. You're basically questioning what I'm doing. So one, why would I invite you? Because we are not really seeing eye to eye. Number two, why would I invite you? Because you don't even believe what I'm doing. So why should you even feel invited? It's kind of like, to me personally, if I have an issue, like it's like going to somebody's house and you think their house got roaches, but then why would you go? But then you get mad because you're not invited. Like, that's just like, I'm just looking at, like, it doesn't make sense to me. So I didn't, when they mentioned it last night, I honestly forgot because it had been so long ago. But I remember it back when we were like first recapping this season, when that happened. I was just like, Kenya, I don't understand, why would you be upset? You don't even believe what she's doing. So it just didn't make sense for me. But go ahead.
But stuff was cut out for me.
Dr.
So like I said, it's hard for me to form an opinion.
But Dr. Cortez, I'm just trying to figure out, if that's the case, then why was she mad when Kandi excluded her?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Exactly.
If you can say that, but then it goes back to why she was mad in the first place, or why all this came up. Because Kandi excluded her and the rest of the cast from what she was trying to do.
And the rest.
And I agree. I agree with you saying, like, I'm not inviting King. If I don't like you, I'm not inviting you to any of my things. But I also don't work with you, so I don't know how all those things go.
And it's a reality TV show, so that's part of it.
That's what I said.
I get it. So I don't disagree with what you're saying. I'm just saying it contradicts exactly what Porsha was saying.
But but if the rest of the cast was adding on to it, though.
Go ahead, Robert.
Go ahead, Robert.
I understand that it's contradicting, and I totally understand everything that y'all said. But in the same token, let's just take them out of it and put ourselves there. We ain't inviting nobody that don't see it for us to none of our goddamn events. We just not doing it.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not
so
happening.
I agree.
I mean, I don't know why she would feel away. Because
she bring bands and stuff.
When Velvet ass died, what was one of them dogs' name when that damn dog
it was
died?
Velvet.
She didn't want them to come to the burial.
Ooh.
It was
Velvet. She didn't want them at the burial. She said she only wanted genuine love and all of that around Velvet's death, child. So, hey.
She even sat around the whole table and thanked everybody but NeNe. Like, she excludes people all the time. Like, I don't get where
these girls on this show, these ladies, women, they have not been able to. It's very hard for them to come to an event and be about the event. I mean, if you watching Married to Medicine, they didn't went to the whole little March in Washington, and they didn't get into it in front of Al Sharpton and shit. So realistically, it's reality TV. Honestly, I just don't see why she would be upset. But it's Kenya. It made for good TV, and that's that on that. I want to move over to the next subject and topic, as I feel like we all pretty much voiced. Any final thoughts on that? Because I'm sure to come back up later on. I did like
they both were right.
Yeah, I like their interaction. They were. This is the first time they were able to speak, and nobody cut nobody off. Like, Kenya let her speak, Porsha let her speak. And it wasn't like you said, it wasn't no bitch hole. It wasn't as insulting. They've definitely grown. Now
it was growth.
It was
a mature conversation.
Now, I don't know if it's going to be that way once they start talking about BOLO. But with this conversation, it was very respectful. They talked about Kenya's marriage. And, honestly, when they talk about Kenya's marriage, anytime she talks about it, I think she's lying. I never believe her because it's like we don't know what's going on in that marriage. But it's like she just is draining and we don't really know, like, it seems like she's always trying to cover for him. She's never giving us the truth, She said she's officially filed for divorce. She said that he no longer wants alimony. And she said she's still wearing her ring because she's going to honor her vows until they are divorced. But basically, they were talking about it in Kandi. Once again, it's just like, I don't understand why is she in it. Cynthia's on the side saying, he treated you like this, why are you in it? So let's just give our comments on this because we ain't got to spend a lot of time on this particular subject.
Right.
I just feel like they was letting her have it because they was asking her, are you still blocked and things like that. So any comments on this segment?
Well,
she handled it. She did. She's Kenya is good on her feet. She ain't gonna let nobody she's never gonna look crazy. Well, she does look crazy to me, but she's never going to make it look like she's looking crazy.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Exactly.
Does anybody have any comments on that before we move to the next subject, which is go ahead.
I mean, I think we all done had friends that dated somebody. We was like, girl, why are you with him? What do you see? I mean, until they tired of being crazy or looking crazy, that's when they'll end it. So exactly, they're gonna keep on doing it until they tired of being crazy. So I mean,
yeah,
that's what it
I
is.
agree with that, and I agree with everything you said. It's just something that's very fishy about that Kenya and Mark's relationship. It is always a mind blower for me because I'm always grasping for something to say when she's talking about them. I'm just like, because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't, and I wouldn't be wearing no damn ring if we not together. I wouldn't be taking up for his ass. I don't know what Kenya got. I mean, I don't know what Mark got on Kenya, but he got her motherfucking ass something good. Because Kenya could talk about everything that she wants. And baby, when it comes to Mark, it's almost like she got to make up the lie on the spot, bitch. Because I don't understand.
I don't know if she's trying to respect the fact.
She don't understand the relationship, and we don't either.
She's protecting him still because we as women, we do that to our abusers.
And especially like the child's father, like, oh, I want to talk about my child's father. Like, I don't know if that's what it is. I don't know.
The thing is, Kenya's been like that with men, though. If you want to go back to that other guy, I don't forget. He really I feel like
Mark?
he cared.
Walter.
Mark.
I mean, not Mark. Not Mark.
Big guy.
No, the
big
one
guy.
Matt.
Matt was, I feel like he cared about her the most out of all the men, but he was super fucking crazy. And that's what, and I feel like even with how much he done busted out her windows, pulling up on her, beating up, didn't he hit Peter at one time? He done really done did some more shit, and she was still like fighting. And I just think that is just the case. Now, I was happy that Kenya admitted, and I was, being a woman that had lost her mother at a young age, I get a little triggered when Drew said, it was like, when they was asking her, did she think her mother not being there is the root of some of that? And she said yes, and it wasn't like defensive yes, it was just like yes, like I'm going to therapy, I know that is what it is, and I was glad that she took it on like that, because at the end of the day, that's not really something just like her, man. But
but that's what got me too about Marlo when she made that comment about Kenya. If somebody's mother don't want to be bothered with them, didn't you grow up in foster care? Like, that's not a put down, but I'm saying you the same thing basically happened to you, so why would you throw it up in somebody's face?
No, her people hurt people for real. Like, that's why she felt like, that's why I feel like Marlo felt so comfortable saying it like that, because she ain't never really had nobody to tell her no boundaries either.
True.
So, that's exactly why they both go so low when it comes to them reacting. And it's, I always say, like, be careful, because you never know how somebody's going to react.
Yeah,
exactly.
So always tread lightly. Like,
you
never
I was shocked it wasn't a fight around the campfire, because I'm like, to say something like that, I'm like, I thought it would have been like straight fist. Like, that was just low.
You do not know what something can trigger on something. It's something in my college that happened 10 years ago. People still bring up, because she said something, the smallest thing. Didn't your mama name you Jasmine? And I was like, bitch, I'll kill you. Like, my mama just died. I'll slap the fuck out of you right now. Like, and it just made me, just like something that small just triggered me. Like, don't say nothing about my mama. Don't.
Exactly.
Now, I don't care what it is. Don't say
nothing.
My
mama
that I'll play that your mama.
Right.
I
don't do it. It's boundaries.
Okay.
No mama shit. Don't don't even compliment a bitch. Don't bring my mama up. Don't bring her up.
Don't even say hi to my mom.
Right.
I don't play that. That's the one thing I don't do. That your mama shit. I ain't talking about yours, and you don't talk about
mine.
Okay. I had in middle school was because somebody did a your mama joke. Bitch, I don't play her.
Don't play like that.
Exactly.
I don't play your mama jokes.
So as far as her and her marriage, like, she kind of, I guess, cleared the air. I don't know. Honestly, it's very draining that way Mark does her. But it comes up more. They mentioned that Drew was speaking on her marriage here and there, and then she kind of threw a comment. This little comment. Usually Kenya's good with her reads, but the comment about, your family's not under one roof. Your baby dad's under the roof of a
She's
jail.
under jail.
I was just
Child.
like, that didn't really land to me.
That was late to me.
I'm very
It
like
felt
Kenya.
real flat.
It felt really like, okay, girl. Now I see what a robot reads, because usually she's good. This time, like, that was not.
And this what I didn't catch with. I mean, well, Kenya, yeah, that one she didn't come back in, because I'm like, Drew, basically you lied and contradicted yourself. Like when they asked her, like, okay, well, the viewer said, why are you always talking about Kenya's marriage when your husband was gone for 3 days? And then she did this look like, oh, I don't talk about her marriage. And Candace was like, oh, yes, you do. Like every chance she got, she made a comment about her marriage. So she going to say, oh, well, I only said that because she called us a stray. But literally, minutes before, you said you saw the stray comment when we saw it. So how are you making a comment about her marriage based off the stray comment that you saw with us?
Stray comment. I mean, I get what she was saying, but I as
it
a
had
person,
nothing to do with the marriage at all.
I mean, Kenya and her had some tension around that time, but that stray comment was not it for the reason why she brought those things. Why she brought those things up when she brought them up. Like she just needs to be honest.
Oh, I brought that up because of the strays. Right. No, you heard it when we heard it.
Right.
Well, we already confirmed she's a liar. So.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay. So
she's
before
mistaken.
we get to Drew, because it's gonna be a long night on Drew, honey. And like I said, while we still on Kenya, now this session right here with the Halloween costume situation, when they brought it up, I was like, really? Like, okay, like I get what they're trying to do, but as you know, housewives all over the franchise are very problematic, honey. And I have not seen many of them give apologies on these other white cast, you know, I'm just saying, to be real. And so I didn't think that they needed to spend, and what was very uncomfortable to me was that Andy was asking the questions and was just like, you know, kind of drilling her about everything. Like he would ask the question, let her answer, then like follow up. It was just back to back, you know, to me. I didn't really like that. You know, I didn't really like Kenya's response either, but I didn't really like the way he was drilling to her. And so he just needs to be more careful. He needs to hold all these housewives accountable, because there are bigger issues on other platforms and franchises.
What Kenya said.
What she
I actually
said.
love what Kenya said. I feel like she
said?
addressed it. She acknowledged it. She took ownership of it.
You remember when we?
I honestly I don't like the way he started it off. Well, Bravo has issued out an apology.
I didn't like it.
And like the way he started it off, all of that was wrong.
Some big shit.
I mean, he could have just brought up like, you know, hey Kenya, they had a controversy around your such and such and such, you know, and went on with it. But the way he even introduced
made it a whole moment.
A moment,
I didn't like it.
I don't even like. And child, it's a damn costume. I don't care who offended.
Well, I mean, don't put it on. My thing is, I feel like if you're gonna do it on TV, just don't do it on TV. My thing is, when me and Cortez talked about this episode, did I not say, one, that she was gonna apologize, and two, she was gonna say she had Indian in her family, and I knew she was gonna say that.
What black person don't say that? Every black person says that.
Every black person says that, but she said, I have family in West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Now I'm like, man, wait a damn minute.
My Native American side is from West Virginia.
Yeah, they have what's those?
I think that's very valid.
Blackfoot.
I think that's very, very valid. I think she used that knowledge of knowing that it's there to say that she has family there. I don't think.
Yeah,
I got family there
too.
I got family there too.
Yeah, I got family there too.
Portia kept. Yeah, exactly. But Drew and
ain't
Porsha,
never even been to West Virginia, but I got family.
My family really is from there, Virginia and West Virginia.
If you really have family in West Virginia, raise your hand. Okay.
If you really have family in New Orleans, raise your hand and know that you're telling the truth.
Okay, let's get to that. But again, I just find it funny.
Wait. Before we talk about Drew in this situation right here with the costume, Porsha actually was able to basically say, like, Kenya, like, you want people to give you the same grace about how you feel, but you don't want to give it to others. Now, as it relates to the whole the Underground Railroad situation, I didn't really find that to be too big of a deal.
Nothing to do with it.
I would have related to other situations, preferably than that.
Yeah, but not that one.
But Porsha, that doesn't change what she was saying was true. She does not extend the same grace.
It does.
And it really
but I love how Porsha brought that up, though.
You're not gonna get grace for accusing me my husband a premeditated rape. You're not getting any grace for that. No.
Hello.
Wait
Oh
a
my
minute.
God! But are we gonna keep dragging it? We gonna drag
Wait
it
a minute.
2020,
Yeah.
2021.
They keep
19,
talking about
2019,
everything else from the past.
No,
Why
we ain't
can't
gonna keep on
No,
dragging it.
Now
we're
wait a
not
minute.
dragging it
Now
It's
wait.
ridiculous.
We ain't gonna
Now,
keep
if you're
on
gonna
dragging
be
it
my
now.
friend,
Because this is the
That's
thing.
what-
That
that's
girl
what I'm
was
talking about. I'm not giving you
vindicated.
grace for.
Yeah,
That's the
she was
grace you're not
vindicated.
getting. You
then we're
are
not friends.
She was
We don't have to be
vindicated.
no more. Then
But
we're
this
not
is the
friends.
thing, because it's Porsha. Let it would have been Kenya. Anybody
No.
else that said that, they would have been kicked off
And
the
when
show.
is-
We still
Oh.
talking about marching
when has
bands. We
Porsha
still talking about
apologized?
Apollo.
The reason why
we still
Mona-
talking about all of that. But when
Pick
we
me.
talk about that, I don't want to talk about. Oh no, we're gonna keep talking about it because people
Pick-
keep bringing up other stuff.
Pick me.
Portia's apologies are, I accept my part that I played. Porsha never actually apologized. She was like,
Never.
I
She
accept
apologized
the
5
part that
times.
I play.
Are y'all saying
How
that
she-
Porsha
how
did
she-
not
I will
apologize
tell you this.
5 times?
That's
saying
not
that?
Portia's fault that she apologizes like that, because do y'all not
Okay.
remember they grilled her back in a few seasons ago talking about some she never accept the part that she plays in anything. So she started saying, I accept such and such and such, because that's when NeNe was telling her, you a bad damn friend.
You a
So she
bad
had to start
friend.
accepting.
Yes. So no, I'm
No.
just saying I'm not giving you grace. I don't have to give you grace on certain things. And honestly, you're black. If they don't talk about nothing else in about Black history, they talk about Harriet Tubman, Martin Luther King, and Malcolm X. Your grandfather was on that balcony in Memphis.
Hello.
Oh, here go those higher standards
Oh,
again.
Lord.
Oh God.
It's the
Oh,
underground.
That's the
God.
thing. If it was anybody else,
So what? No, it's
exactly.
not.
But
No,
because it's her,
Well,
she
no,
gets the
I
pass.
think it's just.
You're
No,
saying
I
you're
think-
saying all these things are the reason why she should be treated that way, because her dad's this, because she's that. She was spoiled. She didn't probably have to do that. She's being pretty. But
So that's the excuses they
That
always
was
make
30s.
too. This woman is in her 30s, but they treat her like she's 16 years old.
That was she was
this-
she was my
I'm
age
just
when that
saying.
happened. I have a college degree and I'm getting my second one. It's fine. But at the very end of the day, you can't, you're holding her to that higher standard because you're giving her, you have this, you got this, you got that going on. But
When did you
everybody,
learn about the
but
Underground
what
Railroad?
higher standard?
How old were you?
what do you mean? It don't. Everybody learned that.
All right, so we ain't gonna go down the lesson. We're not gonna go down the lesson of dads, okay?
No, but
'Cause
again, when
basically-
Porsha inserted herself into the issue about the costume, I'm like, but again, did you call your sister out? You called Kenya whack, a loser, all of this stuff.
Did you call Monique out?
Exactly, but your sister, ain't that her sister right there in her
Oh,
travel,
God.
We can't
in
see
her
her.
travel
Monique,
outfit?
Monique.
Yeah.
What's your name?
I don't got to bind her because I ain't have
Lamescia.
time to do that. But that's her sister right
No.
there in her travel
Monique.
outfit.
I think
Okay.
that.
She
I
didn't
think
call out
that
Monique
is.
either.
Did you call?
I think that-
we got
Oh,
Monique
gosh.
too.
I
got
think that's
Monique too.
actually
We got
beyond
Monique.
the point.
Yeah.
Personally, I think that with that, she's
Mhm.
just trying to say that the same
Ain't
grace
that her
should be
friend?
extended.
Her friend right there.
Okay, where's the
Monique.
picture of Porsha?
Monique, we
Where's the
can't
picture
see
of
that.
Porsha?
Her friend.
Monique, we can't
But
see
we don't
that.
have to have a picture of Porsha because again, she don't call nobody out, but her feelings so hurt because Kenya said a comment about the Underground Railroad. Everybody said you was stupid. Why you ain't offended about everybody, but you only offended by Kenya? Okay.
Well, my sister also did say she worked on that 265 days.
Thank
a
you.
year.
265 days.
She missed the 100
Mhm.
days that they
Exactly.
talked about the
Even her
Underground
own
Railroad.
friend.
Correct. So
Facebook
on them 100 days,
was talking
we
about
caught
her.
on an off day. She was off.
But you
She
only
got 100
offended when
days
She
Kenya
was
off.
off. She had an
Don't
off
be bringing
day.
up Porsha past, Robert.
She had an off day, just like the headdress of the Native American from West Virginia had an off day. That's all I'm saying. They all have off days.
Oh, let's
and
get
I think
Let's
that's
get
what.
to the Native American from New Orleans. Ain't this show good girl
So
right here?
with that actual,
That's her right.
It's getting
What she's asking at the family reunion. The
It's
family reunion
getting
of baby, you at a
sad. How much did?
okay,
Let me-
okay, 1 second. Okay.
You got.
Lamescia.
I'm crying.
Wait, Cortez, you gotta hit it.
Actually, I didn't do that.
Oh my God. I'm crying.
I'm
still
gonna
going
say
on.
this. I agree. I like how they work speaking to each other because I don't really feel like
Okay, 1 second.
one had a better point than the other. I feel like they both were making valid points when they
Yeah.
were speaking about each other. I
Shit,
do
I'm so
agree
sick of
with that.
her with this thing.
Let me see ya.
Wait, what happened? Uh-oh.
That's Drew
there
in
you go.
Indian.
Hold
dress.
on 1 second.
I don't think that Porsha cared about the costume as much as she cared about the extending grace issue. Like, you want somebody to forgive you to do that, then you need to be more forthcoming of other people. And I think that was it.
Kenya was asked about that, because I honestly don't think Kenya really cared. If we're being 100%, Kenya didn't care to really speak about it. But if you're gonna ask me, I'm going to explain myself. Kenya did. It's not like Kenya brought it up. So I don't know how much grace she really was asking for. She was asked to explain.
So she never really responded to the grace thing. She just started bringing up other people that she knew that did the costume as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait a minute, I can't even get what's her name out of mute. Hold on, Lamescia. He won't even come out. Give me a sec. She just
What's going on?
NeNe is going.
You
Hold
said
on,
you
NeNe.
did it, Cortez.
No, actually, I didn't. That's what I'm trying to figure out what happened.
If you slam your computer down so we can read your reads.
We were having a difficulty. There was a thing.
Here she comes.
Is it back?
Hello, can you hear? Talk.
Oh man, hold on one second. If you watching the live, this is hilarious.
Herself.
Yeah, she gotta unmute herself because it's not letting me do it. Can you do it?
There she go.
You back?
Hello?
Okay, yeah, for some reason it muted.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I know why it muted, because I was trying like, hey, you and your receipt. I'm like, hold on, sis. Okay, so moving on to the next subject. I mean, what we talked about the costume, honestly, like, what now about Drew and her costume? I feel like next season, if Drew comes back, it's gonna be some tension between Kandi, because if you didn't notice, Kandi was throwing a lot of little comments at Drew. She was the one that called her out about this little picture right here. I'm glad she got the picture, because I was looking for it. We really can't see it though.
Yeah, and told her she was alive.
Yeah, she
right
did.
there.
So I just feel
It's
like
New Orleans Native American. Right.
Well, you know, Creole women are Native American mixed.
Girl,
with
she
French.
stop.
Her mom,
okay.
that's what she been
You
said
sound like
that.
Drew.
She said that. She said that with the conversation with her mom. Didn't she say that when they went to New Orleans?
Saying
I'm
so
sorry.
the girl standing next to her dressed like a nerd. So they dressed like nerds and Native Americans.
I was saying, I was only speaking on the Native American part.
That was
I
the
just
family
said that I was
reunion.
it was the family
I
reunion.
don't know.
So why did Drew apologize then? So again, she's also in trouble. So why didn't
That
she
girl
apologize?
grandma
I was
made
only
that.
speaking about Native
Yeah, her
American.
grandma. Listen, Drew said her grandma.
And then said, "Oh, that was from 10 years ago. Whether it's 10 minutes ago, 10 weeks ago, 10 years ago. You standing here.
Her grandma
in an
made
outfit.
that.
We were at a ceremony with
This
my
is Party
grandmother.
City.
All right.
This is not.
All
This
right.
looks like Party City.
You
Her
listen.
grandma made that. I'm sticking to it.
Party City.
Okay. Well, you know
Same
what?
lie
Since we can't talk about this in a civil way, we're gonna move to the next subject. Because thank you for your receipts and your body, Lamescia. Moving on to talk about Drew.
We don't have time for that.
Drew and Ralph. So they talked about Drew and Ralph, and I thought this was the most oddest scene of it, because they bought Ralph out by himself, and I was just like, that is weird. They could have just found a way to incorporate the other husbands too, but I guess because he was like the only husband truly involved outside of Mike, like they really brought him out there. But they did. They talked about Old Daddy. Again, I'm tired of Old Daddy. They talked about her situation with Josiah. And I guess the biggest thing from this is that Kenya liked the tweet that was saying that the scene was cringy.
Let's pull it
Now,
up.
we just talked about this scene last week, I believe. And, you know, a couple of us, we also the same thing. We always just like, well, it was kind of uncomfortable to watch just because he just seems a little socially awkward in terms of, like, in that moment, he's a kid. So it just probably wasn't the best thing to be doing that with kids, whatever. I mean, with him and on camera, his weird little dad and whatever. But how do we feel? And, you know, we don't got to spend a long time as you speak, because I know this can be very heated. How do we feel about Kenya liking the tweet and Drew's feeling about her being disrespectful? I'll start with you, Lamescia. So, and then we'll go around, and then, yeah. And this is just on this situation, not about the person. I mean, the person to all of them, but just, you know, the situation at hand about the tweet. Wrong, right. Drew feeling wrong, right. All that.
The only reason why I feel like everybody said the same thing. So again, we have the same issue when Kenya said something. Oh my God. Oh, Kenya said this. Everybody said the same thing. So why is it a problem when Kenya said the same thing that everybody said, from bloggers to people on Instagram, Facebook, everybody said the same thing. So I think it's just her again, making something this big into this. That's what Drew does. Being dramatic I don't think anybody even questioned or talked about her kid per se. I think it was more so her decision making and parenting. You put your kid out there for the world to see for this scene. Everybody said they thought it was uncomfortable. They thought it was cringy. But again, when Kenya says it, it's a problem. But yet, Drew also talked about Kenya's kid, but they cut that part out. So you want to talk about, I can't talk about your kid. You talked about her child. But they just cut it out.
That they cut it out? Like, where did they come from?
They cut it out. It was on Speak On It. So you could see how the scene was really choppy. So I'm like, again, you sat there and talked about her kid for 20 minutes, and Kenya kept telling you, I can't talk about this because of legal issues. So now you mad because somebody said something. Really, she didn't say anything about your kid, but you also brought up her child before. So I'm over her.
Okay, that's clear. Robert.
I agree. It was a cringy scene. I don't think that it was that big that Kenya said that she thought it was cringy. The whole world thought it was cringy. No shade. And I mean, if you didn't want us to speak on it or have an opinion about it, then you should have left little Josiah over there at the house. Or if you didn't want us to speak on it, then don't show that part of your life.
Okay. Jasmine.
I thought that as coworkers it was inappropriate. That's just my opinion about it. Like, yeah, I mean, she's on reality TV. She's probably going to expect those things coming into her comment section. She probably gets mean things all the time, like everybody does, like all of them do. But I think that when it came to her coworker, I mean, I just thought she just felt disrespected. And when she's, I did think that Kandi did feel away. I thought that she said that on her Speak On It, or the last thing that she put up, that she did feel as though that Kenya was inappropriate by doing bribery, cheating that. And she asked her why did she feel that way about Riley. And she was like, well, no, Riley's different. I mean, but at the same time, like, I felt like it was cringy based off the little boy because he's obviously, uncomfortable. So I just felt it was cringy off that. I didn't feel like the meeting itself was cringy. I didn't feel like it was exploiting, and I didn't feel like when Kandi did it was that way either. I just felt like Drew probably didn't understand how uncomfortable he was going to be until it happened.
Okay, Asia.
It says, can you retweet it? This conversation with Drew's son is so cringy. Let that baby go play Minecraft or something. She didn't talk about him. Like, she wasn't speaking on Drew's son at all. She was speaking on her putting her son in an uncomfortable situation that he told them on camera he didn't even want to go to. He said he didn't want to go. So of course he's gonna act out that way. I think Drew was using her child as like a shield so she wouldn't actually have to discuss how cringy the situation actually was.
Mm-hmm.
She definitely was using her kid. She was just using her kid. And you're not gonna be able, for me, I'm not dumb. You're not gonna be able to use your child saying I was talking about your child. What did I say about your child?
Just in general, just like you said, don't say nothing about my mama, don't say nothing about my child. Like we just like 5 minutes ago, we just said.
But what did she say?
What did she say about her?
Don't compliment my child.
When you put it like that, I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna go ahead and bow out.
Even if they mention your kid.
So I'm gonna say
I didn't see that part.
So I'm gonna say this.
Exactly, because they cut it out.
On reality TV, you have to be careful what you retweet and what you say. Because just as she wasn't talking about her child, NeNe wasn't calling that baby a buffalo. But it was taken Kenya really made it, she wanted to make it seem like she called her unborn baby a buffalo. And it's like, she didn't call. She basically was talking
about your fat ass.
I thought she was talking about you.
Buffalo, NeNe.
She said she's looking like a buffalo, right? That's what she was doing. So
she looked like a buffalo.
Intent versus impact. And Kenya was doing the same thing Drew doing now.
But think about like Eva last season when she talked about Dennis with a boat. Okay, we all
don't talk about it.
You gotta be careful. So whether you talk about it, whether you retweeting it, just stay off those subjects. Because I guarantee you, if somebody had retweeted something about baby Brooklyn, Kenya would be upset about it. So it's just like you just have to be careful, and that's why I think Drew was definitely reaching with trying to get a whole moment out of it. But I understand, like,
that's what I think. Like, she just want a moment, so I can't take her seriously.
We know
She's
that.
writing her
But it's
script, y'all.
but it's
Yes,
hard.
honey.
But
The
it's
15
hard
minutes of
to
fame.
it's hard to retract from something like that when you do that, because it's like, well, then you can't say, well, I meant this, because you basically you make some kind of emotional response on the child. So it's like you talking about them, you mention them, they in your thoughts, they in your feelings, leave them out of it. That's my opinion. Like NeNe said a long time ago, leave the kids out of this, and that's just a very touchy subject. It's always been that way. So that's my thought on it as it relates. I think that Kandi definitely defended Drew about it, because Kandi did it too.
She did.
I saw debates where they were saying, well, Kandi was much older. I mean, not Kandi, Riley. Riley is still a child.
Riley.
And Riley's situation
like
to
11,
me was way more cringy than this baby's, because she was like crying. Like, I felt so bad for Riley in that moment. And so that's just crazy to me. Of course, Kandi gonna defend Drew in that moment, and but I think both of those situations are cringe. Unless you got a moment like Aiden or whatever with Phaedra and taking them to school for the first time, leave them kids out of them damn scenes, because it is too much.
Oh yeah,
it's exploiting.
That was such a good scene. It had me tearing up.
Like
that Phaedra scene. That was such a good one.
Yeah, like leave that stuff out of it, in my opinion. Like, I just think they need to stop it. Otherwise, your kids won't really be the topic of discussion because you left them out of it, right?
That's
Yes,
why.
sir.
That's what I really feel like when you give your child a storyline, it's gonna be discussed.
Yeah. But yeah,
Boundaries.
Like even when talking about what her storyline with her children was not wanting to take them to a jail.
Yeah.
So I understand those type of stories, but bring in old dad. I hate that.
I hate that.
Bring in old dad.
Old daddy is so late to me.
That is so late.
Everybody just look weird.
His shoulders was real
That's
stiff.
so late to call that man old daddy. He is biological daddy, child.
Yeah, real daddy.
He
Now, y'all
he
know
will
what I'm
forever
saying, real
be
daddy.
a current daddy. Hello.
So, in honor of cringy moments, honey, we're gonna play a game. It's called Cringe Worthy. Okay. So of course, you guys, before we got here, I told y'all to get some paper with the words cringe or STS, and basically, I have come up with about 10 to 12 moments, 10 to 15 moments that in RHOA history that have been deemed as either cringy or like kind of like hard to watch, and we're gonna basically judge whether it was actually, whether we individually, of course, together, whether it was cringy or show that shit, because we want to see it, right? So that's what STS means. All right. So everybody got their papers and their stuff ready, and try to keep it in the camera.
I had to write mine with an old eyeliner. I can't find a pen in here to say my line.
Oh Lord Jesus, y'all, they getting together. So if you're watching right now, you can also play this game too. It's called Cringe Worthy, and basically, like I said, we're gonna decide whether these situations are cringy or show that shit, because we want to see it. All right. So I know that everybody in the lean is ready to play. I hope you see it, because we're about to get started. The first situation is, of course, Josiah meeting old dad. And you put either cringe or STS, whichever side you put.
Can you repeat it?
Josiah meeting old dad.
Okay.
Just put it. Just show it. You don't have to speak on it. Just show it. We can't see that. What that say? I see cringe. Show that shit. Come on, Jasmine. Jasmine said she want to see it. Okay. If
I want to see it. I'm taking his head off. My hair hurt, man. I'm sorry.
Now, I know if you're watching right now on the screen, you're probably not seeing, because they didn't bold them as much as they should have, child. But bear with us. All right. So the next situation is Riley and Block. That situation that happened, I think, last season or season before season. Was it cringy or was it a show that shit moment? Cringe. Show that shit. And I keep saying shit.
Both of them.
I didn't know nothing about Block until that. Like maybe
we're
because
not
I'm
speaking
young.
on it. We ain't speaking on it. Okay. Any scene with Mark and Kenya? Cringe. I can't. Y'all too close. Look back a little bit. Cringe. Everybody say cringe.
Yes, I couldn't finish it. I ain't have enough eyeliner. Sorry.
All right. Phaedra at the season 9 reunion about the whole drugging situation. Show that shit. Show that shit. Show... Dang, y'all want... Okay, that's good. Somebody said that was cringe. That's why I put it down there. Mama Joyce trying to fight Carmen with a wedge. Okay. Cynthia's mom and Mal hide her marriage license.
Oh my God. I cringed and I wanted to see it. So it's both of them.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can say
Try
that
to
too.
if y'all can try to bold nose a little bit if you can real quick. If you're not, then it's okay because I can't. Lamescia and Robert, y'all's a little light. Jasmine, yours too, a little bit.
Okay.
As you good.
Can
Okay.
you see my? Oh, okay.
Okay. So then
I just made mine.
Yeah.
Let's say
I'm mad backwards.
Kim Zolciak performing "Tardy for the Party" at the reunion season 2.
Go ahead, show it.
So that shit. Everybody said show it. Okay. Kenya going to see her mom and her not answering the door.
Ooh, I
Cringe. Everybody say cringe. Ooh. Now Kenya want to talk about moments that's cringe. Lord mercy.
It must be.
Porsha
Sorry.
and the Underground Railroad come in.
Show her dumbass.
Okay. And Porsha versus Kenya at the reunion. Season 6.
What reunion?
The fight.
When she dragged her.
The fight. The actual fight. When she dragged him off the couch.
Oh, sorry. I started kissing the paper.
All right, and the last one is NeNe at the charity event taking the mic and saying, "It's amazing how many friends I have and don't know about it." Okay, so that was the game. If you at home, comment below what you thought were Show That Shit and Cringe. I hope y'all enjoyed the game. I made it up yesterday, child. So anyway, other than to go back to Drew and Ralph, they talked about, they just kept going on and on and on about this whole Tampa thing. And honestly, I was kind of bored of it because I really don't care where he was, honestly, because obviously he was up to no good. But I didn't like how she was trying to clear the air by saying that she had receipts of the dinner for one guest. Like, girl, anybody can go and say that it's just one check. That doesn't make sense.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why would he go on a date with somebody and they split the check? That don't even make sense. So, of course, it's going to be one guest. I just thought that was kind of crazy. But, Jasmine, we did talk about her referring to her relationship as perfect many times. We didn't like that. So, any final thoughts on Drew and her marriage? Obviously, they seem to be in a better place. And I never understood how they got to this place because it started off so rocky. But just any thoughts on their marriage now? Starting with Robert. Go ahead. You're ready.
Okay, yeah, I am ready. I thought that was the stupidest shit ever. The dinner for one receipt. I also thought it was really stupid when her ass gonna say, and he also showed me his Apple Watch of him running. Yeah. Bitch, if he cheating, he can still run, bitch. He gonna work out anyway. Bitch.
Yeah, it didn't make sense to me.
The fuck? That's almost like saying when I'm cheating, I ain't texting on my phone. Bitch, if I wanted to cheat and my friends texting me, I'm gonna respond back while I'm cheating. Bitch, I don't understand that running accusation. He was running. I seen the miles he ran. Okay, bitch.
Yeah, that was very like, girl, stop.
It was given. You know he did something, and you trying to cover it up by all means necessary.
Just like Kenya do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
My thing is this too with Drew. Now, suppose the Kenya wants Ralph. Girl, stop it. A compliment does not mean somebody wants you. I can find somebody attractive. That doesn't mean I want to sleep with you. But Kandis' aunt have her hands all up under the damn table. You ain't have nothing wrong with that.
Gotta watch out for
Kenya.
me.
Are you for real?
Because it's Kenya.
Are you
I'm
for real?
Well, Kenya has a history.
But hold up. But according to the haters, right? Kenya's ugly. Don't no man want her. So no man want her. They say that all the time. So don't no man want her. So why you complaining about Ralph? He should want her, right?
Nobody has said that she's ugly.
No, I don't think she's ugly.
Not on this panel, but I've seen people on social media like, really, girl, really.
Never. No,
I've never heard nobody
say
say
that. Inside, but she ain't never been ugly.
Nah, I've heard somebody say she
but we just saying the haters like, she can't keep a man. Don't no man want her. So don't no man want her. So we shouldn't be concerned with Ralph, right?
No,
like,
that's so.
I just think again, Drew.
Okay, wait. So
Drew, queen of the pick-me's, reaching.
Okay,
Queen
wait a
of
minute.
the
So
The queen of the pick-me's is reaching.
And Queen
yeah,
of
but
the
that ain't got nothing to do with looks.
Exactly.
It ain't got nothing to do with looks. Like I don't think you may have some hate. Everybody has hate. Everybody say somebody ugly, but in terms of like Kenya, she's beautiful. Nobody can ever deny that. She's
Yeah.
like beautiful. She's beautiful. But it's for
Yeah,
in
I
terms
think
of
the
like
woman is gorgeous.
in terms of like not wanting her, it's because of her ugly inside, not her outside. I can attest to
Well,
seeing
then,
that before.
if
But
that's the
still,
case, then
so
don't
we
nobody
shouldn't be.
want none
So
of
she
them.
shouldn't be worried.
Well, no. I mean, it's not about being worried, but I think what she's trying to say is don't be inappropriate. I'm not saying she was. I think Drew was definitely a little like okay.
So
like, I get
saying
what
somebody's
she's-
cute in a
Can
confessional is
I would like
inappropriate.
to finish what I'm saying, and then I'll let you know. So basically, what I'm saying is, I feel like it's one. Women can be like somebody's inappropriate. I get what she's saying. I think Drew was reaching with that. Basically, I don't think she was being inappropriate.
Yeah.
But based off of the history, you saw how they tried to tie it in. They tried to between Drew and production. They tried to make it a moment to where she was being inappropriate. I don't think Kenya was. They honestly took that scene that she said that and they split it into two. It was the same damn confessional, same moment.
Okay,
it was
same
a,
day.
it was a reach.
Okay.
But I agree. If she was inappropriate, I'll be going in about this. But I don't think she's inappropriate. I don't think Kenya's ugly. I don't think anybody here could say that anyway. So, yeah, just her insides.
Just her inside.
Anybody want anything else?
All of them got ugly inside. So next, and Porsha's single too. So I guess don't nobody want her either.
They don't ever talk
Barely.
about
Right,
that.
I guess
Barely
she ugly
single.
too. I guess she is ugly.
I ain't never heard nobody say that the girl was ugly. Nobody on
Oh,
like,
honey,
on
I've
her
seen
is
all
ugly.
kinds of stuff on
But-
social media. I'd be like, really?
I mean, I'm glad that they put that side by side about her and Apollo because I definitely thought that her stunt with Apollo and Phaedra was inappropriate. Now, do I
thought
think
we
that
didn't. We
Drew?
weren't supposed to talk about the past.
Oh, I didn't know.
That
I
was
didn't, I
7
didn't-
years
I didn't-
ago.
I didn't agree to that. But anywho, I didn't agree to that part. But I was just
We
saying,
can never
I
go
felt
back.
like-
We can never
I
go
didn't
back.
say that. I was just saying they didn't want to put the side by side. I was just saying
Yeah.
I
They-
agree
they
with it.
brought it
Like
up.
I do feel like that was a reason why that they should have questioned it. Now, do I think that Kenya fucks with Drew a little bit about it? I think that Kenya, like even when she was giggling on the stage, she was like, "Stop it, Andy!" Like she's a flirt. But do I think that she's like really wanting that man? No, I don't think so. Like, no, I think he thinks that he's not even on her. Like he's just fine. That's it.
I think he probably like her. He
Well,
probably
I
like
like
all
Raph,
her
so
coworkers.
I feel like Raph needs to watch out for me.
I like Ralph.
The
Watch
woman
out
he
for
was
you.
with for 3 days likes rap.
Well, since we have that energy going on, Latoya arrived, and Latoya, like I said, I think we all said she came in pretty strong. Like it gave me, I was excited. I mean, she basically said, and she said this before this actual reunion. She said that they came. So one of her stylists, workers, whatever, came to her room with the camera with some vitamin C and was in her face with the camera. But like I said, Latoya actually said this before the reunion aired. So when she came in, she already seemed to be on edge about just that and already about, what's her name, Drew. And honestly, I don't know if Drew is going to be able to handle Latoya because it seemed like she was already kind of losing it. Let's go ahead around with the thoughts on that, starting with you, Jasmine. Just Latoya's entrance, her back and forth with Drew, and where do you think it's gonna go next week? You think it's gonna be like it's gonna be good, or it's gonna be like, oh girl?
I mean, I just think it's gonna be like all girls, kind of like that. Like they build up like a whole bunch of stuff, and then it just be flat. Like I mean, I think that like Latoya is immature, so that she doesn't have the mental capacity to go past you, little SpongeBob bitch, and that's why I think that my little mind can go that far. But that's just my opinion. So I mean, if that's the rah-rah of it all, then I mean, we got a little bit of a laugh out of it, but outside there, I think it might fall flat. Now, I only think that because Drew doesn't argue back, if somebody was calling me that, even if my people did that, I would still be like, bitch, at the end of the day, get your ass slapped. Like, for real, quit playing. Like, I was still going back and forth with her. So I just don't think that Drew's fun to argue with, even for it to be something that hype like that.
Okay, let me see. Anything on that, the back and forth?
Like she said, Drew really doesn't argue back and forth. She just brings up the Lord, and I mean, that's about it.
Okay.
She probably say a prayer or something. I mean, she's a woman of God and so much. A Proverbs 31 woman I would love to be like. So I mean, I don't know.
Asia.
I mean, I thought it was hilarious because she was hot. Like, you could tell she probably was going to be a little subdued and just, she said she was like not even going to come. She wasn't feeling good.
That's
So
the Lord.
she probably was cool. Just like at the end of the season, she wasn't going to come, but then she was like,
You know
got
what?
your number, bitch. Here I am. And the way Drew argues, she can't argue with somebody coming at her hot like that. Because all she does is ask questions or bring up the Lord. But is that why you're not drinking anymore? Because Delilah came in and Samson
Not Delilah.
David
Right.
had
Okay.
like she asked questions as
Over
an
and
argument
over.
instead of like actually like saying real things. She just will ask you questions to kind of like throw the argument off track. So I don't know if she's really going to be able to handle Toya because I don't think she was expecting that right in.
Robert?
I'm gonna wake up, child.
I didn't know what you
He said, I'm asleep.
I'm asleep. I'm bored.
Because this is the thing. I need Drew to put some fucking bass in her voice.
Yeah.
It's just, it don't even sound convincing. Like, she was up there and I was playing in my phone. I was like, because it don't move me. It's something about it just don't move me. I'm not moved by Drew. I think that Latoya is going to walk all over her if they go in the back and forth little match or whatever. I don't know. Drew need to do something because when she get up there and she starts saying stuff like, "Oh, she came in ready," and I just can't believe that you would retweet something like that. It hurt me to my core.
Yeah.
And scene. The good acting.
I ain't never seen her cry like that before though. Until that
Well,
was
she didn't
even
cry.
She didn't cry. She gave an inner
When
cry
She
they
got
and
a
then
little
stopped.
vein in her head and
Maybe
in
that
her
was her
neck.
And then
audition.
And then they gonna flash
Yeah,
to
a little vein in her head and in her neck and stuff. It's just that's all it was. But Drew, that argument between Drew and Latoya is going to be so late with the childish reads from Latoya and with the Holy Ghost sitting on Drew lap. I'm not going to be able to.
Yep.
No,
Exactly.
it's not gonna be.
It's not entertaining. It really ain't.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. It's just like
The reason why I know it's gonna be kind of a fail for Drew, in my opinion, is because she started off with, okay, peachless. It's like, girl, you are only
No,
on.
it's petty peachless. It don't even make sense.
Well, it's not even just that, but it's like you are only in your
She was
first
supposed
season.
to have a peach.
Who?
She was. Latoya.
Latoya was supposed to have a peach.
Allegedly.
Well,
the
child, while
only
we sitting
reason
here
she
talking,
didn't have
I
it was
decided to
because
grab
of
my
Adam.
prayer cloth.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah, I just think
Look,
that she's
the
gonna.
Hebrew
the only
cross.
reason they had, and that's another reason why this season was real patchy, because a lot of the scenes that had her kids or her husband in it, they had to scrap. They had to scrap
Exactly,
because
he wouldn't sign off.
because he wouldn't sign off. So she also wasn't allowed to talk about her kids.
Well, of course.
Either.
Well,
He was
you know,
pulling
this
like
is not
a
the
Mark
show for
Dacascos.
her.
maybe if she finalizes the divorce, she'll be able to talk about it next season. Otherwise, girl, she is peachless. But I think that's a very like dry read for somebody that just got a peach and it's their first season, and it's not even sure if you're gonna be renewed. Like, we're questioning that. So it's like to throw that in somebody's face as a read at your first reunion. It's like, girl, this is both y'all first reunion, and y'all filmed just as much. Just minus her family.
Well, if it was up to Wendy Williams, she wouldn't get a peach next season.
Oh,
Hello.
baby.
Lord.
Wendy
She don't
said,
need one.
shake that cast up. Me and Robert talked about it,
Yes,
and baby,
God.
she was not impressed. But I think that, but I
Wendy
feel,
said, I don't like that Drew girl.
but based off of what I'm seeing,
Look, and we
I
don't
feel
either.
like
Okay.
the
I
reunion
don't
is going
like
to be
it. Jasmine
carried.
don't even like her no more.
The reunion is
I
going to
do
be
love me
carried
some
by the friends of the show. And so that's like, I just feel like with Marlo coming, and then, well, Marlo, I ain't worried about her, but I feel like they're going to bring more of it, because they honestly were involved in most of the big drama, you know, in my opinion. I don't know about Shamia much, but, you know. Did y'all see the editing where they had her little leg in the picture? Like, they edited it?
yeah.
It's a lot going on. I don't know if they did get those black interns or they still need them, because some going on over there editing it, and Bravo
They
and
still
Right.
need 'em.
Oh,
They still need them.
It's some going on, because
I
they is not getting it
cannot.
right with this, and I hope they get it right, Lord Jesus, because Real
They
Housewives of
were
Atlanta
doing
is
it
going
to
down.
give. They
Going
did that
down.
edit to make Kenya seem a little worse in the moment that they were having.
Yeah,
Like, they edited that in to
yeah.
give Drew a little bit more momentum because she probably brought it up at a weird ass time because she's a weirdo. So they probably gave her something like, "Oh, let's throw Kandi talking about blocking," but it failed.
Jesus.
For that.
Well,
I don't want to talk about blocking.
Don't.
that's
You know.
pretty much all for the reunion, though. Like, this part one that we talked about it because it's five of us shouting, five different opinions makes a great conversation. But honestly, the part one of the reunion was boring, honey. I was bored.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to leave it at that. So hopefully part two is better. If you're watching, of course, we're going to be here next week. And we're going to talk about the part two. And hopefully with some more opinions. And I don't know if we're going to be in a dungeon theme next week, child. I'm going to be back in my regular clothes. I mean, I'm just wearing all black.
I'm gonna be
today.
back in my regular.
I'm be have to do.
But see, I like clothes. I like colors, so this ain't really me. This all black stuff. But I think y'all look really great. Of course, shout out to Lamescia in the center.
I already had this in the closet. You know what I'm saying? You know?
Okay.
Oh, girl, so what you be over there doing?
I can't tell y'all all that.
Did you have it
I'm
in
a
your
Delilah.
Did you have it in your NeNe closet?
Y'all know.
I need Drew to pray for me.
Oh my God!
Oh,
hopefully she do.
I already got my cloth now.
I missed
Good night.
So yeah, with that being
Bored.
said, go ahead, Robert. Yes, we say before we close out.
Y'all know what we did not say?
What?
How Kenya couldn't take Porsha from the beginning when Porsha walked out.
Hated her. Hated her.
She was rolling her eyes and everything. When Porsha walked out, she was like,
Oh, I think I missed it. I think I didn't pay attention when people were walking out. I'm gonna have to go
y'all
back.
didn't pay attention?
I was watching.
I wasn't paying attention to like nobody walking out because I'll be honest, I was switching back and forth looking at the Grammys. So then they really started. That's when I really started looking. So I'm gonna have to go back.
The Oscars.
I'm not gonna lie, I turned it on and fell asleep, so I had to wake up and rewatch it.
Well, I watched it right when it came on, and I was like, I could have had a V8, but you know, if I did, we would not be here talking about it. So, so like I said, hopefully it gets better. If not, we're gonna be here to talk about it to make it fun. If you're watching, we about to lean out. Of course, you can find Asia, Robert, Lamescia, Jasmine, and myself on IG on the screen here. You can also find us next week talking about this same show with part two, child. So until then, we're gonna lean out. And
good night.
And she go with this shit. Good night, y'all.
Hold up before we leave. Good night. Me and Drew. God.